So this exercise is called Simple Cipher, and the idea here is that you want to send someone some messages that someone can't just read over your shoulder, look over your shoulder and read them. This is not about cryptographic or making a great algorithm. This is just about a very simple way just to obscure from quick glances about what you've got, and a way that someone else can very quickly decode it on the fly. So it will feature test-driven development in Node, as with the other exercises. We'll have something I call terminal line testing, a level below unit testing, so we'll explore that. We'll have array for both in and of loops. We'll show the use of those, and we'll use Mocha and Chai for testing and for our expectations to drive the code. And in this exercise, we will also have some magic numbers. We'll touch on those. Let's get started. Okay, let's get set up. I'm going to share this setup between all of my exercises to make it a little bit easier. So let's get going. So I'm going to create a directory to work in, app. And you see our Explorer here is keeping up with us. This is VS Code. I'm going to go into that directory, and I'm going to use Node, so I'm going to create my package.json file. There it is. It's a simple template. And let's start installing the tools I'm going to use. And they're going to be dev tools. So first of all, for testing, Mocha and Chai, Chai for expectations. And then ESLint and ESLint plugin Mocha, because I'm using Mocha. Alright, and then one final thing while I'm at it, I might as well install NYC for code coverage while I'm here. It's a successor to Istanbul. Okay, good. So that's the three of those. You can see our package.json file. It's got our dependencies. It doesn't do anything with our test command yet, so I need to fix that. But first of all, let's copy in this ESLint RC YAML file that I've got. And you can see here, there's a ton of rules. I love having loads of rules to guide me, you know, in errors and warnings. So it's very, very handy. I love that. All right. That's the ESLint YAML file, and here's our scripts where we want to actually put in running tests. So let's put in the actual command we're going to use, which is going to be Mocha. We'll just use the top level, anything that's called star.test.js. Okay, so we should actually be pretty close to be able to run tests. Let's try to do it with npm test. And no files found, but no actual error. So let's go ahead. We'll use index because that's what the auto generation of the package.json used. And we'll put in our index.test.js, which is actually the file it'll recognize. Alright, so it's green. No test, but the framework's there. Alright, so let's put in the other pieces now. Let's put in the linting, which is going to be our pre-test, so it's going to run before the tests can even run, and that's going to be ESLint everything. And while we're here, let's put in our code coverage, and that's going to be the NYC npm run test. So that's close to all of the pieces we need. We can run our tests again to make sure that they work, and we can run code coverage to make sure that that works. And you can see that we didn't have any files again, but this is the expected output that we've got. So we've got our linting, our testing, our code coverage, our basic files set up here, NYC output for code coverage output. So we're pretty much ready to go. So now we can go ahead and create the actual app. Alright, so let's get started. Alright, so let's get our two files here, index and our test file down here. And let's put in use strict in both of them. Try to do that right off the bat. It's easy to forget. Okay. Let's include our testing library, our expectations. So that's going to be Chai, require Chai.expect. Put that in. Space it out a little bit here. Okay. And then we'll include our application file. So we're going to basically name that here. We're going to call it Simple Cipher. So that'll also be a require, in this case an actual file, so that index file up top. Alright, so, well, let's start off, we've only got one function, so let's just do the simplest not even name the function here. We can just do modular exports equals, and then give it a block of code. And let's see if we can just get it to pass with return true, perhaps. So let's go ahead and write our test. Probably should have written it before we wrote any code at all, but we're pretty close. So let's make sure we've got our what we're trying to do here. So simple cipher reverses letters. When I say reverses, I mean, for instance, it swaps like A and Z, and then B and Y, and C and X, and so on, D and W, etc. So that's what we want it to do. That's our overall target here. In the first example, we're going to say, let's try to do something really simple. So we'll start off with one word. We could start off with a letter, but we're going to take a little bit more of a jump. So we expect, for instance, that. So we're going to call that function. So let's set up our format here of saying the result is the result of calling that function that matches, and passing in ABC, XYZ. So we know that what those should become. Those should become Z, Y, X. Okay, so let's write it out here. So expect the result to equal Z, Y, X, and then CBA, because XYZ becomes CBA. All right. So let's see. Let's run our tests. Let's see, we're going to get a failure because we haven't included that. And actually, I think the problem here is that I didn't save the files. So I've gone ahead and done that. Saved both files. Just made a note there to myself. All right. Run that again. All right. Expect a true to equal that. So return true. Obviously failed. So now we need some real code. So we could just hard code that string for the first test. But let's we could do that, X, Y, Z. So, but it's going to fail, and then we're going to have to write some real code. So let's try and shortcut the process a tiny bit and write some code here. So let's say we know we're going to be passing back new letters, so we'll start off with that. That's often the standard thing to do, right? You're going to create something new that you're going to build. So let's loop through our text that we're going to pass in as a parameter. So let's put that. And that's a string. So for letter in text, great words, huh? It'll go through each character. I prefer letter to character for this exercise. All right, so for each letter, that's where it gets interesting. We're going to want to set up this. Basically, we want to find out the code of the letter, and that's char code. So we want to set this up. So at this point, I'm not quite sure what the numbers are going to be. I mean, we're going to get text of letter. So let's go down here and let's go into a REPL for node and say, okay, we've got A. What's A's char code? And it auto-fills for us even and return it. So 97 is A. All right, that's good. Let's do the same for Z or Z. And that's 122. So that's going to be very useful. Very useful. So we're going to use this knowledge here, say, so first of all, we're going to get what that number is for our letter that we're dealing with. And then we're going to say our new position, our new letter we're going to get. First of all, we've got to know what its position is, what its number is. And that's going to be, that's going to be 122 minus char code. So if it's Z, we get 0. If it's A, we get 26. So it effectively reverses, by doing this diff like this, it effectively reverses the character's number position in the alphabet. Now it's still a number, and we also need to add in, they start at 97, that's A, so that's the actual number that we want. And then we're going to need to get the character back for that. So we're going to say our new letter itself is going to be string dot, and let's go down here and again do some line testing to figure out from char code. There it is. Maybe I looked it up. So there it is. 97 goes to A, 122 goes to Z. That's what we expected, so that's good. So let's use that. Check that, and we'll pass in that new position that we just calculated. So we'll put that there. Okay, semicolon. And now we want to, remember we're doing it letter by letter, and we're accumulating them into new letters. So we're going to add this new letter that we just calculated. There it goes, ungrade it. And of course, the final thing, it's easy to forget, sometimes for me, is that we want to return all of those new letters back. Okay, make sure we've got the right name here. We're referring to the same variable. And yep, yeah. Okay, so that's good. So let's go ahead and save that. And I'm going to run that. So we'll exit the REPL. Now we'll npm test. Right, new position of never assigned and missing semicolon. Missing semicolon is easy. And new position. Yeah, it could be a const. Alright, letter is not defined. We have it right here. But we haven't said, is it a letter or const? So let's give it, it can be a const. Each one. Yes. So I got a passing test, which is great. I'm not going to do any refactoring because we'll probably screw it up right at the beginning. So let's jump into changes to words. So let's change that text there to say that. And let's use a couple of real words. So let's change this to, how about one short, one long, is sustainable. And if you do this cipher on is sustainable, and you might have to trust me a little bit here, I did it ahead of time, we get definitely not pronounceable. And you can see from the length of the word here, HFHGR, GZRMZ. You couldn't even look over someone's shoulder and remember that very easily. Certainly not a few of those words. So it's definitely not easy to read. And see here the difference is this: instead of the space, we got this little double arrow, and that I don't know where that is on a keyboard. So we need to deal with that so that we're not trying to actually put that in our ciphers that we send to someone. Not trying to actually type that crazy little thing. So we need to deal with whatever number this is, and I can tell you it's actually 187. I think it was 187. Let me just check. Yeah, 187. Alright, so if it's that, we'll use a ternary here, then what we actually want is 32, which is a space. Otherwise, we want what we already had. Let me standard little line there. So that will deal with the special case of 32. And let's see if that assignment to const. Okay, so now we're actually changing new positions, so we need to make that a let. So let's go ahead and change that. Okay, save that. Excellent, they both pass. We did get a linting warning that says that we can get rid of these parens here. So let's go ahead and do that. A little hard to read, but I don't really want to put a disable linting here, so that's good. It's passing. Alright, so these numbers here are kind of crazy. So let's break them out and actually name them. These are the magic numbers where it's really a good idea to say exactly what these are here. So let's call it char code for A and char code for B. So we can change this name here to be char code for A. Thank you, editor. And here char code for B. Actually, it's actually Z, right? We want A and Z. So let's fix that. Okay, good. And while we're at it, let's go ahead and name that the other two as well. So a space is 187. Actually, that's not actually a space. A space is 32. So let's do both of these numbers here. So let's copy and paste this. Okay. So space is going to be 32, and the other number space. The other number is let's have some fun here. Let's call it our would-be space, which just to have a little bit of fun. So let's go ahead and change this. This was the 187 originally to the would-be space, and we'll change the 32 to be the the space. All right, put a space in. Haha. All right, semicolon. Let's see. I think that's going to be good. Let's try running that. Okay, still passes. So that's good. So let's jump ahead to what's our next one? Well, we could do 3 words, but I think there's something more interesting we can try here. Because the way this cipher works, we can actually take a string, convert it, or cipher it, and then cipher it back by calling the same cipher. So it changes the string and then changes it back to the original string. So if we make this, we have to come up with something new here. We'll call this the first result. We'll do that, and then we'll say it's sustainable. And then we will say our actual result is calling it again on the thing that we just calculated, the first result. And then our final result, or just result as we're calling it, should actually be back to is sustainable. Okay, so let's check that. It should be the same originally as it ends up as. All right, let's check that out. Pass, nice. So that's pretty comprehensive. If there's any refactoring, we can actually use of. Then we don't have to, instead of the index, we can actually use an internal iterator for the actual letter on its own. Yeah, that's a little bit simpler. Let's see if that passes. Let's save that and run that. Yes. And is there anything else? Is there any other refactoring we could do here? Let's see. It's actually looking pretty good. Let's run test coverage. Let's see how that's looking. 100%. That's pretty nice. Alright, so I think we're about done here. Get rid of that, and you can see that we've got our tests, the 3 of them, which is pretty compact, and we've got our code, which is fulfilling the contract. I think we're done. Thank you.